After watching this new Ladies and Ladies Toxic teaser, one thing is absolutely crystal clear to me. There is going to be zero middle ground with this movie. I'm either going to love this film from the very bottom of my heart or I'm going to absolutely despise it from the core of my soul. It's either going to be a cinematic masterpiece or a total train wreck. I will despise it or I will worship it. But there is no in between. Let's rewind a bit. Because we have waited so long for this, Yash became a literal household name across the country after the humongous, earth-shattering success of the KGF franchise. Now, full disclosure, even though I'm not the biggest, most die-hard fan of the KGF movies, I have to admit that KGF Chapter 1 was definitely something that changed the trajectory of Indian cinema forever. Director Prashant Neel didn't just make a hit movie, he single-handedly brought back that whole anti-establishment, angry young man masculine era of heroes that had been missing since the great Amitabh Bachchan aged out of those roles. He made that archetype cool again. Suddenly, every other Indian film was trying to capitalize on that exact same formula. He brought the massive, larger than life massive films back to the theaters. So coming off of that historic high, Yash was sitting right on the absolute top of his game. He was in a position to cash in on that fame anytime, anywhere. He became the ultimate golden goose of the industry. He could have pointed at any top tier commercial director, demanded any script, asked for any astronomical paycheck, and it would have been his. No question asked. But what did he do? He waited. He waited for years for the right script. Let's be real, many superstars in this industry would call that career suicide. They want to strike while the iron is hot and sign 5 films back to back. But I have a massive amount of respect for him for doing exactly the opposite. That take guts, that's daring, choosing the only script he genuinely wanted to work with rather than just signing everything that came his way to milk the opportunity proves he cares about his legacy. And who did he choose to direct this highly anticipated comeback? Geeta Mohandas, an indie filmmaker, someone who has never worked with a superstar of this astronomical magnitude, let alone with this kind of massive budget on the line. That choice right there gave me this huge sense of reassurance. It gave me the vibe that because Yash took so much time and because he chose such an unconventional director, this was going to be something truly special. Toxic was gearing up to be a monumental event in Indian cinema, something fresh, something the Indian audience has never ever witnessed before, something we desperately wanted to celebrate. But then, the character intro of Raya dropped, and oh boy, it was controversial. And let's just say it was heavily over sexualized. What's the right word for it? It was just cringe. Look, I get it. They were marketing this as a toxic fairy tale for grown-ups, so I can completely understand incorporating mature sexual themes. But what genuinely made me physically cringe was how it was shot. The cinematography, the character design, the execution, everything felt way too cartoonish. Honestly, cheap might be the right word to describe it. That wasn't an introduction, that was an abomination of hype. It completely killed the massive momentum and the superstar aura we had built up in our heads for Toxic. Then a little while later, the actual main teaser came out, and that was the exact moment I breathed a sigh of relief and thought, okay, they redeemed themselves. I was instantly happy and hyped for Toxic all over again. I started trying to justify that weird Raya intro. I thought to myself, maybe that was just a brilliant marketing ploy to create havoc, spark a controversy, and just get the film trending in everyone's conversation. I convinced myself that maybe that cheap vibe wasn't actually a part of the real film. Maybe it was just promotional material. Because the main trailer, it genuinely got me excited again. Yes, it still had that recognizable mass film appeal, but there was something dark and gritty that made me want to give Toxic another chance. Especially that younger look for Yash. His screen presence and the sheer raw brutality showcased in that trailer were phenomenal. Interestingly, there was hardly any mention or focus on the heroines in that main cut. So my theory was that they were hiding them for a good reason. I thought maybe they had completely flipped the narrative and this time the women weren't going to be mere eye candy. I was hoping they were hiding some incredibly substantial powerful roles. Which finally brings us to the Ladies and Ladies teaser. And guys, I'm more than disappointed. Let's break this down. First of all, that opening shot with the blaring siren in the background, it literally felt like I was watching the intro gameplay of a 20-year-old zombie survival game. And all those excessive warnings, kids stay away, parents make sure your kids stay away. Come on, it's way too edgy. It's so ridiculously on the nose that it's giving off massive try-hard energy. It just feels very, very cringy. And just like that, the first introduction of Raya, this new teaser falls right back into that very cartoonish approach. It has this painfully forced vibe. It feels exactly like a 13-year-old kid trying way too hard to be edgy and cool on the internet. Now, to be perfectly honest and fair, the first minute of this teaser is actually pretty solid. The color grading is fantastic, the atmospheric vibe is on point, and the quick glimpses we get of every actress look incredibly good. You get sucked in. But then we hit the second half of the teaser, the part where there is a fight sequence between some of the female characters and Yash. And my friends, that is exactly where I draw the line. It is way too much cringe. From the way the action is choreographed and shot to the absolutely pathetic dialogue, specifically that line about men and their predictable spectacle of their cocks. Don't you think that's just a bit much? It's giving off a massive try-hard vibe. It sounds like someone desperately trying to sound provocative and edgy just for the pure sake of being edgy. Plus the physics of it all. The way the lady jumps through the air and how Yash shoots her with a gun, it completely loses any sense of grit and just becomes straight up cartoonish. It completely breaks the immersion. So here's the fundamental problem I'm seeing right now and why I'm so worried. I strongly believe this movie is going to suffer heavily from a massive mismatch of tones. There is going to be a glaring error in tonal continuity, and that is going to severely affect the overall viewing experience. Because on one hand, you have these beautifully crafted scenes, phenomenal cinematography, and gorgeous color grading, where everything looks incredibly serious, moody, and very classic. But then, right in the next breath, you have these elements that look incredibly cheap, cartoonish, totally cringe, and completely not up to the mark. It's cinematic whiplash. And let's not forget the film also got delayed recently because of the ongoing war. So that was another massive setback for the production. I mean, there have just been so many extreme ups and downs with Toxic so far. It's a roller coaster. I'm just really hoping it doesn't turn out to be another Bombay Velvet, a massive, ambitious, expensive project that completely collapses under its own confused weight and mismatched tones. So as of right now, I'm honestly confused as what to make of it all. Yes, without a doubt, I'm still going to watch the film in the theater, but I'm significantly lowering my expectations. I'm not expecting a masterpiece out of it anymore, but I genuinely hope it surprises me and proves me wrong. So that was my take for today's video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, agree with me, or even if you completely disagreed, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more reviews. See you in the next one. Till then, bye.